The two of you, when you were making this, I would assume it was the same time that Everything Everywhere was just blowing up. Was that true?
It
And
it came out while we were filming, yes.
what did you learn from Key and from Michelle about dealing with all of that? Because that was just huge.
Well, I don't know. They were every time we shot the show, the movie came out, and then we all went our ways, and we'd get back together once in a while for promotional stuff, right? And I'd see them every month or two, and I feel like every time I see them, they're like pedigree just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and so. But at the same time, they always remain the same people that we met on day one before that movie had come out. Just humbled, down to earth and kind and generous people. And so that's what they taught me.
Did you ask them for acting advice or anything about the business?
No, I didn't dare. I was like, if they have,
We didn't want to be hassles to anyone.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
Well, Ben, growing up in Minnesota, how did you even think the idea was going to happen that you would be in the business?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't know about the business. I didn't know what the business meant or was or could be. And I definitely didn't see a place for myself in it. But I kind of took a leap of faith. At the end of high school, I decided I was going to go to New York and train in musical theater at NYU. And it was sort of a decision that I made kind of on my own. It was really only after I came out to New York and started really understanding what the business was. But no, growing up, I was like, this is fun, this is cool, and that's all it will probably ever be. But I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, always it's good to be wrong, right? Had you two read the book before this all started to happen? Were you familiar with it or not?
No, I wasn't familiar with it at all. I hadn't heard of it, but I read it before our chemistry read. We had one chemistry read before the audition process was over, and I read the whole thing in probably under an hour and couldn't put it down myself.
Yeah, same. I didn't have it growing up in Minnesota. It wasn't in
Right.
our public library, unfortunately. But I read it for the first time right after I got the audition size, which are just a couple of scenes they show you. I was like, I need to find out more about this project because this just the few scenes they gave me to audition with were incredible, I thought. And yeah, I ran to the library. I was in Connecticut. I ran, yes, ran not walked to the Stanford, Connecticut Public Library. That's where I was at the time. And I found it and I read it and I was crying onto their carpet, and the night guide, like the janitor, was telling me that we were closing in 6 minutes, you have to leave. And I was like, please, I need this 20 more pages.
I need the book, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, well, had you found anything like that before where you said, this I can relate to at all?
Never. And that was what was so incredible. It made me realize that consuming media is not always just sort of an empathetic act, right? Where you're learning about something else and relating to something that's not quite like what your experiences are. For the first time, I was like, oh, you can read something and feel like it's about you. And that was really powerful. And it made me, really want to get to work on this show because I know this show is going to be that for someone else.
Now, during this time, what is that like, that anticipation that this could really be something huge?
Yeah, it's we've been sitting on it for a year.
I know, I just want people to see it, but I don't want like my life to change or anything. I just want people to see it.
Exactly. I want people to see it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And doing there are a lot of special effects in this. I was surprised at how many there actually are. Is that difficult to do? I mean, if you go to acting school, I'm assuming that you go, well, they didn't talk about this.
They didn't tell you about the iron diaper in acting school. That's something you use to fly. Let me elaborate. Right? Let me elaborate more. They put on you this like Kevlar iron thing that looks like a giant diaper, and then they attach wires to the side, and there's two guys standing on ladders and pulleys. Growing up watching these movies, you think, oh, it's all must be robots and like high technology, but no, it's just two big dudes on ladders, and then the stunt coordinator goes, okay, action, and they jump off their ladders and you go this way. So it was it was an adventure. It was an adventure, and it was fun, but also kind of terrifying.
And Sydney, how did you know that you two were a real good team together?
I feel we both knew that from like the
Yeah.
first day we actually met. We met for the first time in person during the cast dinner.
Mhm.
And the whole time, we were essentially just talking to each other. It's like this long table with like Destin Cretton and Kelvin Youth
Michelle
and
Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh and Key and all of these wonderful, wonderful people. And me and Ben are like
It's like-
this the whole time, like ignoring everyone. And I felt bad, but like we really did just like have a really good connection from the start. I think we bonded over a lot of things in our childhood
We
and
have shared childhood traumas that I feel
Yeah.
like bring us together.
bonded over it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
This is my new favorite book. Thank you guys so much. I'm dying for the series to be really a huge hit. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's great talking to you.